Nico!
Get ready for the next battle.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Nico's World video. It's your boy Nico's World.
Yo, what up?
And you already know what it is. This is the highly requested, highly requested matchup video against public enemy number one, Hwoarang. Now, I get it. How I do this, guys, you already know. I give my 2 cents before I really get into the explanation of this character, right? And how we deal with this motherfucker, right? So, it took me a long time to lab this character. Hwoarang is very complicated. He is a very complex character. He is not easy to pick up and play, and he's not easy to play against. He is difficult on both ways, right? He has a million moves. I think he has about 156 moves in his move list. He is a pressure monster, and he is annoying. He is very annoying, but that being said, I will give Hwoarang players their flowers. This character is hard to pilot. He is not easy to play. He is not a mashy crazy, or he's not a mashy mess that a lot of people put him out to be, because it's not mashing if you're plus. I am going to give respect to Hwoarang players in that regard. Like I said, because he is not easy to operate. I have played the character. I do like the character, but goddamn is he annoying. Yes, he is very annoying. I get it, guys. I've been in the blender. I know how it is. So we're gonna go over how to deal with him. It is a lot. I tried to shave it down as best as I could. I really can't get into every single nook and cranny of this character, because this video is going to be fucking 5 hours long. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to really give you the key things that I really feel like people should know, or that you guys should know. I'm going to tell you the things that I've learned and how I interpret this character, and hopefully that helps you deal with this insane pressure crazy monster in front of me. So let's get right into it. There's a lot to talk about. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna tell you, if Hwoarang wants to apply pressure, right? If he wants to start pressure, let's say you're playing neutral. Y'all are both not close to each other, right? So if he wants to start pressure, he is gonna have to take some level of risk, because all of his approaching tools have no tracking. And I'll show you right now. See? No tracking. See? No tracking. So his approach tools don't track very well. So if the Hwoarang does try to run at you and to initiate pressure, try to incorporate sidestepping. His approach tools have no tracking, so if he tries to initiate pressure through his while running moves, sidestep. He has no tracking from his approach tools. The next thing I'm going to tell you: do not whiff in front of Hwoarang. Let me repeat myself: do not whiff in front of Hwoarang. If you whiff in front of Hwoarang, you're eating a back three. And Hwoarang's back three is this move right here. It has a lot of range, so if he even gets the hint of a whiff, if he even gets the scent of a whiff, you're eating back three. As I've played this character through quick match, anytime I saw my opponent whiff in front of me, back three. Every single fucking time. Do not whiff in front of Hwoarang. You better know the spacing of your moves, because if you do some stupid whiff like this, you're eating a back three. If you do something like this and you whiff, you're eating a back three. If you do something like this, you're eating a back three. Do not whiff in front of this character, because if you whiff, like I said, he's going to kick you so hard that you're going to be looking at Jesus, and Jesus is going to be looking at you, and Jesus is going to go like this. He's going to look at you like this. Right? So do not whiff in front of this character. You have been warned at this point. If you do it, that's on you at this point. The next thing I'm going to get into. So Hwoarang is a stance heavy character. He is a very stance heavy character. So he has right foot forward stance. He has left flamingo, and he has right flamingo. He has 6 key ways that he can get into these stances, right? So he has down forward 1-3 that puts him into left flamingo. He has 3-3-4 that puts him into right flamingo. He has down 3-4, that's his signature move that puts him into right flamingo. He has 2-3-1 that just puts him in his normal stance with plus frames. And then he has 1-2-3 left flamingo and 1-2-4 right flamingo. And he has forward 3, just, you know, manual forward 3 left flamingo. Those are the 6 key ways that Hwoarang players usually like to get into stances, right? He has more ways, but again, I'm not going to get into that because those are the main ways that they usually try to do it. Okay, guys, the next thing I want to get into is what Hwoarang is mostly known for, and it is what we like to call the blender. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You want to know how the fuck to deal with this. That's what you want to know how to deal with. You want to know how to deal with that. I get it. I've been put in the blender too, going against this character. There are ways out of it, guys. I do promise you that, but here's the thing. Let me explain. So one thing I'm going to tell you guys is that one thing Hwoarang they always try to go for, right? Let's say you eat a down 3-4. They always try to go for that high. And reason being is because that puts him in right stance at +5 in your face, right? So what some of y'all are thinking, well, Nico, why don't we just duck the high? Well, here's the problem. If you try to duck the high, he has that for you. That is a safe mid-heat engager. It is a launcher in heat. It is very dangerous. And it is also within the frame, so it is a frame trap, so you cannot press in that situation. So if you are gonna duck, that might happen to you. Another thing that might happen to you is this right here. That is a counter hit launcher. It's his right flamingo down forward 4 counter hit launcher. Safe, not even safe. It's +1 on block. And yeah, so that is what he can threaten you with if you try to duck. These 2 mids right here. Both are uninterruptible, and yeah, that's how he punishes you if you try to duck after his down 3-4. That's what he's going to hit you with. So that's why it's risky in itself to try to duck the high, because he has mids to threaten you with. So let's say you don't duck, right? Let's say, so now that you know that what the mids are in that situation and how they can hurt you, now you're probably going to be like, okay, I'm just going to stand up and block. So that is another problem. Like I said, when he gets that high on you, then, like I said, he's +5 in your face in right foot forward stance. So let's pause it right here. This is the part where you need to decide if you are going to just block or sidestep. Pressing is not a good idea, because if you press, he has things to make it hurt. He has ways to check you in this situation. But anytime you block that high, any variation of that high that you block, that is when you decide as the player, am I going to move around him or am I just going to hold back? You can dick jab, you can do certain things in certain situations, but that is entirely dependent on what the Hwoarang likes to do. This is a very crucial moment in understanding the character and understanding who your opponent is. There are 2 types of Hwoarang players. There are ones that are going to check you, and there are ones that are going to be greedy and want to continue pressure with their plus frames. And that you get to decide what type of player he is right after you block that high. playing 2D against Hwoarang is exactly what Hwoarang wants. He doesn't want you to move around too much, because when you are standing still, that's how he gets the opportunity to just go ham on you. But there is ways around Hwoarang. You have to move around this character. You have to incorporate sidestepping, because when you move around Hwoarang, that's going to force Hwoarang to do things that he's not really going to want to do. Right, so let me show you what I mean. I'm going to show you all of the things you can step, right? So there are 6 key moves in particular that are steppable when he does that, his down 3-4, 2, and you block the high in that situation. There are 6 key moves that you can step. And the 6 key moves that you can step are the things that Hwoarang players usually like to go for. So I'm going to show you right now. So that's his... So you can step his down 3-4, down 3-4. You can step that. That's his down forward 4 2. But before I even continue, because I'm going to show you all the moves that you can step, but before I can even continue, when you decide to step Hwoarang in that situation, you must be quick to react. Because if you are too slow, that high is still, it's very fast at 13 frames. So you must be quick to sidestep and punish. You must believe in the sidestep and then punish. See, it can still clip you if you're not fast enough. So you need to be very quick, or sidestep and jab, or sidestep down forward to something. But be very quick when you sidestep attack. Yeah, it has to be fast. And one thing I noticed with this attack in particular, so I noticed this with Lars in particular, and it's kind of sucks, but Lars doesn't have the best sidestepping in the game. It's kind of below average. But when it comes to his down forward 4 in that situation, a good amount of the cast can step it to either side, but for some reason Lars struggles to step it to the left, but he doesn't struggle with it stepping to the right. So if you think he's gonna do down forward 4, sidestep right. That's just a G-Wiz information thing that I just noticed, because I tested it with other characters, and other characters don't really have too much issues stepping it to either side, but for some reason Lars does. I don't know why. The next thing that you could sidestep is his forward 3. Right? Again, you must be quick when you do it. Just like that. So you can sidestep the next thing. That's his 3-4 right there. You can sidestep that. And another G-Wiz piece of information, when Hwoarang's foot is up, whether he's in right flamingo or left flamingo, he cannot block. So anytime his feet is up, he cannot block in this situation. So if you know, just something that you should probably know in case you catch him slipping and he just kind of coming towards you he can't block. He does have power crushes, but it's just a piece of G-Wiz information. He can't block when his feet is up in either stance. Just so you know. That's his back 2. That's the next thing that you can sidestep. That has no tracking to either side. So don't let Hwoarang get away with that. And that's his down 3+4. You can sidestep that to both sides as well. So those are some moves. The stomp is not a move that they use too much, but just know that is some. But the rest of the moves that I just showed you, they do like to use those moves. Sidestep. You must sidestep. You have to sidestep this character. If you don't sidestep this character, he's just gonna go off. You have to incorporate movement against the blender, because if you don't, he's gonna cook you. Basic fundamental thing for Tekken is that there's always a counter to an answer, right? So everything that you may try to do, there is a counter for. Everything that you try to counter for your opponent, they have a counter for what you did to try to counter them, right? So When I say sidestepping this character, it's not like Hwoarang doesn't have things to punish you if you try to do so. So what I'm essentially going to do is I want to show you the threats of what will happen to you if you do try to sidestep, because you should be aware of what may happen to you if you try to counter his pressure. You know, you should know about what he can do to stop you from trying to get out of the blender with movement, right? So, like I said, if he hits you with down 3-4 and he gets that 2 on you and you block it, he's +5, right? So if you, like I said when I was saying try to sidestep, if the Hwoarang player notices that you're sidestepping after you block that high, he's gonna go, you're sidestepping after this. That's interesting. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing this. This is his right foot forward, down forward 3. It is a little bit on the slower side, and he is airborne, so you can jab him out of that and juggle him. And it's funny because these two characters are actually more similar than you think. Hwoarang is a better version of Lars, but they're actually quite similar in terms of stance pressure. He just has better stance pressure. But so like I said, this is his right foot forward, down forward 3, and this is similar to Lars's Den 3. It's not as plus on block, but it is a It is a heat engager. Whoops. It is a heat engager. And what also makes this problematic is when he's in heat, it is a launcher. Yeah, so that's kind of dangerous in itself. So that is one of the ways he can punish you for trying to sidestep if he notices you're trying to sidestep. So I just want to paint a picture for you because I'm a visual learner myself, so I like to see things to learn better. So let's do this. So I'm going to try to sidestep here, right? Watch. Fuck. Now you got punished for sidestepping. It's just one of those things where he has a counter to your counter because he noticed that you're moving around him now. But if you notice that he's trying to do that, what you can do, you can jab him out of it. It is dangerous to jab after that situation, but like I said, there is a counter to a counter to a counter to a counter in this game of Tekken. We know this. So that is one of the ways he can threaten you if you try to sidestep, right? And another thing about this move is that it's +1 on block as well, so it's kind of a mind game when you block it, because if you try to dick jab, watch. He's airborne, so he's gonna jump over it. And if you try to jab, he is, you know, he's in your face still, and his jab is gonna beat your jab, and his jab leads into stance pressure again. So that's a problem. And so let's say you try to sidestep, he's still in the same stance that he was just in, right foot forward. So if you try to sidestep, he could do that homing move again if he thinks that you're going to try to sidestep. So it's just a mind game when you block that kick. It's a mind game. So another move I want to talk about, and this is a very important move that Hwoarang has. He's had this since the dawn of time, and it's probably one of the strongest moves in the game. And it is this right here. That move is disgustingly good. That shit is called backlash, and that is one of the strongest moves in the game, and reason being is because it is a homing move high that is, if you eat that on normal hit, it guarantees a follow-up for 61 damage. So basically it's like a combo if you eat that. It used to launch in Tekken 7, and that move was disgusting. I'm not gonna get into the history of that move in Tekken 7, but that move was damn near broken. I'm glad that they nerfed it in Tekken 8. It's still stupid strong, but it's not as strong. It's still fucking good, just not as good. But that's another thing he can do. if you try to sidestep. You can kind of react to it though. You can kind of react to it when you try to sidestep though. You do have some time, but you just need to just kind of see it. And another shitty thing about that move is that it recovers insanely fast. That's why you kind of see Hwoarang's kind of just throwing it out there because it recovers so damn fast. You're not gonna be, you are not gonna be able to punish this unless you like do it immediately. Like you have to do it as soon as you duck it to get the punish. But otherwise, you're not getting it because he recovers from that kick insanely fast. It's kind of crazy how fast he recovers from it. But that's just one of those things that Hwoarang has. It's a very powerful move. So those are one of the ways that he can punish you for sidestepping. I forgot to mention this as well. So another way that Hwoarang can kind of punish you for trying to sidestep is through his jab strings. So if Hwoarang does something like this and he gets that high on you again, if you try to sidestep and he does jabs, you're not stepping that at all because he's just 2+. That jab is 10 frames fast and he's +5, which means that came out in 5 frames. He is way too advantageous after a jab for you to be stepping that. So the threats, recapping, there's 3 threats of you trying to sidestep in that situation. It's his jab strings, his right foot forward, down forward 3, which is a heat engager. It is slower though, and you can jab him out of it. And it is his backlash, which you can sidestep and you can react and duck, but it is very hard to punish when you duck it because he recovers so fast. And it is also plus on block. And on normal hit, it guarantees a follow-up for 61 damage. So those are just some of the ways that he can really, you know, hurt you if you try to sidestep and if you're too slow to react to backlash and try to duck it. Okay, so I kind of brushed past his Hwoarang's stances in conjunction with the threats, right? So I talked about a little bit about his right flamingo, right, and the mids in case you try to duck, right? I talked about those and what some of the threats of those are. And then I talked about how it leads into his right foot forward stance, and I talked about the mids. I talked about the homing moves. You know, I talked about how you should be stepping him when he's in this stance in your face and things of that nature, right? But let's say you just kind of like hold back, and let's say that and this is a key way that he can get into left flamingo. And it's his forward 3 from right foot forward stance. This right here. This is a pretty key high that puts him into right foot forward, and it gives him a lot of frames when he does that. And so let me explain left flamingo. So left flamingo has 14 mids, and 3 of those mids are plus on block. He has no counter hit launchers from left flamingo, and one of the mids is a heat engager, and it is a launcher in heat, and that is his left flamingo forward 3. So let me just paint a picture right now, right? So let me do this. Let's do this because I'm a visual learner, so I just want to show you what it would look like. Because you know, when you're going over the blender, I really feel like you have to slow things down because he's moving too fast for anybody to really understand what the fuck is going on. You need to kind of just slow it down, and that's what I'm here for. So we're gonna slow this down and take it step by step. So I'm just gonna paint a picture for you. Right, so that was a lot. He was moving really fast. So let's just go over what that was, right? So right there, that was his forward 3, forward 3. So that put him in left flamingo. And this forward 3 right here is a heat engager, and it is a launcher in heat. And the thing is that it's +4 on block, right? So it's +4 on block. So you can jab him out of it, but the thing is that if you try to jab him out of it, he can check you with this, See? You can't jab him in that situation. You can dick jab him, but there's a danger in dick jabbing because he has mids that can jump over high, or not highs, a dick jab. He has a launcher that crushes dick jabbing, and he has safe mids that he can jump over your dick jab. So he does have options to stop you from doing this as well. If you block that high, in this situation, it's pretty much a mix-up. This is the part where you kind of have to guess. Because if you duck, he has a heat engager for you if you try to duck, and if you don't duck, he gets down 3-4. You see how that leads into one another? He gets this from this. So this kind of opens you up for a mix-up situation. So you need to decide if you're gonna stand up or duck. You cannot sidestep in this situation because he's just 2+. If you block this high, he's 2+. You just have to guess. You have to guess between this, or you have to guess between this. Or, like I said, if you stand, he can do this. And remember, anytime he does any variation of that high, he is +5 in your face, always. It is always +5 with whatever variation he's in. He's always +5 every time you block that high, always. Okay, so another thing I want to get into. So Hwoarang has a perfect throw game. He does have ways to open you up with grabs. And I just want to go over some things that I noticed as I was labbing the character and some things that you should definitely know about. So, Hwoarang, first thing I want to tell you about is that Hwoarang can grab you when either one of his feet are up. He can grab you in left flamingo or right flamingo, it doesn't matter. But
wait, there's more.
There is a big but in this situation. There is no mix-up when he grabs you. If he does this, if any of his feet is up and he tries to grab you, it is always 1+2. It is always a 1+2 break. It is never, there is no 1 break, there's no 2 break, it is always 1+2. Anytime his feet is up and he tries to grab you, 1+2 break, always. There is no mix-up. The only time he can mix up his grab is when his feet are on the ground. His feet must be on the ground to do other grabs. But if his feet are up, 1+2. Always a 1+2 break. So 1+2. 1+2. 1+2. It's always 1+2. There is no mix-up, grab mix-up in that situation. And then there's another grab thing I want to go over is this is his quarter circle back 3. This is always a 1 break. That's a 1 break right there. There's no mix-up in that. Always a 1 break. The next grab that I want to get into, and I'm going over the grabs that they do pretty often, and it's this one right here. They like to do this a lot, and that's a 2 break. Just know that. Okay, so we went over some grabs, we went over the blender, we went over some key things that Hwoarang players like to do. So I'm just gonna show you some recommended drills. Get it to work in your muscle memory of what the fuck is going on when he's just going ham on you. So I'm just gonna show you some basic flow charts. So that was a lot, right? So now that we went over what I discussed, let's see how I deal with this. See? Okay. You see that? You see the movement? You gotta. When you're blocking and you have to, so your neurons need to be firing in your brain when you're blocking. You need to be like actively thinking as you're blocking. Don't be just thinking like dick jab. Don't be thinking like this. You need to be like, okay, block, 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 sidestep, block, 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 sidestep. You know what I mean? That's what you need to be thinking. So I was too late on that. Let's do it again. Too late. Sidestep. Oh, he caught me. Let's do it again. Okay. Let's do it again. See that? So practice these drills of just you know, looking at Hwoarang players as pressure and seeing how they kind of like to operate. Ways that this could help you is, you know, you could get you ready to deal with the blender with movement instead of mashing. Mashing is not the way to go. That's what he wants you to do. You'll die. You need to instead incorporate movement and sidestepping. Do not press into Hwoarang. Move around Hwoarang. That will help you. And one thing I recommend, guys, is use the things that Tekken 8 grants you, because I'm kind of an old head. You know, in Tekken 7, I didn't really have these advantages in Tekken 7 with the replay function. So what I recommend to you is go to the replays, type in, you know, Hwoarang specific, and then look at what the character is doing as you're watching them fight, whoever he's fighting. Take control of that character and then just move around. You know, move around. See how to take advantage of what Tekken 8 grants you. Like, use the replay functionality and just move around the character. Watch how Hwoarang players use this character, and then, you know, control the character that he's going against, and just move around. Move around. Take it slow. Use that to your advantage, because, you know, they buffed labbing in Tekken 8. Tekken 7's labbing was not this thorough, and it didn't grant you the things that it grants you. But in this game, it absolutely does, and you should be taking advantage of that. Which is what I did. That's how I absorbed the information and got the notes that I needed for this character. I watched how other people play this character through the game, through YouTube, through a bunch of different outlets. So take advantage of that. So let's go over it again. You see how I'm just moving around? I'm moving around the pressure. You see that? Duck. You gotta move around him. You see that? Move around the pressure. Don't attack into the pressure. Move around the pressure. Move around him. And then when you start moving around him, that's gonna force him to do things that are either not as advantageous on block, or it's gonna force him to do an attack that is either unsafe, or it's gonna make it to where it's gonna end his pressure. You're gonna force the Hwoarang to do things that he doesn't want to do. But if you just let him do things that he wants to do, and you just allow him to just attack you, and you try to fucking press your way out of it, you may get away with it in some instances. But if the Hwoarang player knows what he's doing, he's gonna kill you. Right? He's gonna kill you. He's gonna have a field day with you. He wants you to press into him. Instead of pressing into him like a fucking monkey, how about you just try to sidestep? Move around. So watch. See? You have to sidestep him. See that? When you sidestep Hwoarang, you make his life much more difficult. So when you block certain moves in left flamingo, right flamingo, right foot forward stance, you have to move around him. It'll help you so much. People just try to press or power crush to get out of it, and sidestep. Sidestep, sidestep, sidestep. Sidestepping is your best friend in this matchup. Sidestep. So look, watch this. See all that? Ouch. Like that's actually kind of fun, but practice it. Practice that shit. Practice sidestepping this character, and it'll help you so much, I promise. But again, there's always a counter to a counter, right? So it's not like Hwoarang doesn't have something to stop you from sidestepping, but just know that his homing move, the only homing move he has for the most part, that he has from Flamingo, left Flamingo, is this right here. That's his forward 4. But if he does try to do that to stop you from sidestepping, just know that that is -10 on block. That is unsafe. So any variation of that kick that he does in either stance is unsafe. Just know that. It's -10, jab punishable. Okay, and I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I get it. I get it. It's a lot. It's easier said than done, right? Hwoarang is a pressure monster. He constantly wants to be in your face. When he gets that pressure going, it is extremely hard to get the fuck out of it. And he does have options for anything that you may try to do. That being said, though, it's not like you are completely defenseless. You do have some defensive options through movement, you know, through retaliation sometimes. You do have options. The options are there, but you need to be ready for it when, you know, in certain instances of, you know, if he does certain attacks into certain situations, right? So, like I said, some of the things he wants to do or likes to do are some of them are linear. They are steppable. You know, certain situations, like for example, his right stance forward, right foot forward, back two, no tracking. His approach tools, no tracking. If he wants to use homing moves in certain situations, like left flamingo, if he wants to use a homing move from that stance, it's unsafe at -10. So you do have some things to get out of the blender and deal with his pressure. But you know, again, it's easier said than done. So as always, guys, you should do your due diligence, do your homework as well. There is a lot of things to this character that I may have missed. You know, I'm not Jesus. There's some things that I may have missed that I might not have known about, and that's why I look in the comment section and see what you guys have to say. You know, everybody should get some pieces of information and be like, okay, that he missed that. Cool. I'll know that for next time. And I'll look in there too and be like, oh shit, I missed that too. So, like I said, you know, you guys have brains. You guys are not sheep. There's no sheep in this community. Everybody has a brain, and everybody has their own way of labbing and looking at different things. You may have know things that I don't know, and I know things that you don't know. You know, so that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next Nico's World video. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be happy to help. But other than that, be safe out there, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, be safe out there.